Hello, Kaizer Chiefs fans. It's Talking Kaizer Chiefs, and it's SoccerBeat, and it's Peter the Toy with Farouk Khan and Tsepo Masilela. Guys out there, Kaizer Chiefs fans out there, and I'm talking to the two legends here, two experts here. After the game against Sundowns, Mamelodi Sundowns last week, we thought Chiefs have turned the corner, ecstatic, a big party after the game. Everybody's happy. But for me, at the end of this game, it looks like we're back to square one. Farouk, I mean, we spoke about that game in length against Sundowns. What happened? He made changes to the team. Surely you should build on this. You're a coach, you sit on the bench. What would you have done after the Sundowns game?
Well, look, basically, I'm not going to try and fix something that isn't broken, Peter. I mean, the guys showed so much endeavor. They fought for that result, and at the end, they got a good result, irrespective of the the negativity around the second goal. Let's forget about that. A win is a win, and I think it's good to see Chiefs going through. For me, the biggest question is the inconsistency that we see once again, that ugly head that's rearing itself. And again, against a team like Chippa, who constantly gave the ball away on transition, which should be favoring a team like Chiefs, who actually look forward to exposing opponents on transition because of their speed and because of their wing play. You know, it's a dream of any coach to play against a team that give away possession when the coach's strength, in this case, Nabi's strength with his team, is the counter-attack. But it didn't look like they were going to capitalize on any of those. And it wasn't one, Peter. In the first half, Tsepo, they gave away several chances carelessly. This is Chippa. Yet, Chiefs were unable to capitalize. And the first half should have ended with Chiefs at least up by 4 goals. And that is not the case. And we're going to ask questions. But we'll touch that later, Peter. We'll talk about the technical application, which is lacking.
Correct. Good point. Tsepo, just going back to what Coach said there. I mean, you've been on the pitch at every level. Last week against Sundowns, it's obviously easier for a team to play the game of chasing, closing people down, winning tackles, the hard work. But the real ability on the football field is when you get the possession. As Farouk says, they had lots of possession here. And yes, Chiefs are a counter-attacking team and a transition team. But it actually shows, in my opinion, the weaknesses of the team, that when they've got the ball, they seem to lose it too easily. I mean, the ball turnover in this match was ridiculous. Chiefs lose it, Chippa lose it. It was like watching ping pong. But what do you think's wrong there, Tsepo? Why can this team not, once they've got the ball, they can't keep it? Or is it what Farouk's saying, they just look to get the ball too quickly?
Yeah, I think partly, it's that they always in a rush to get forward too quickly. And again, if you look at last week's games, it's easy when you are underdogs. To be honest, Chiefs is a big team, but going to the game against Sundowns, Chiefs were underdogs in that game. So today, now the roles are switched. So now today we Chiefs had to come out and play and create chances, and try to dominate the game. But they failed, and I'm not sure about the system. It looks like they're playing 3 center backs with wing backs. So last week it worked, but today I felt like the system also let them down. They played more like a 5-3-2 system, which I felt today it was not really necessary.
Correct. Before we go forward, I want to tell the viewers out there, the Chiefs fans in particular, you may not be getting gifts and joys from your team, but I promise you at SoccerBeat, when we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to put 50,000 rands worth of prizes in the kitty. So you're going to get gifts from us. So guys, please subscribe and get on that subscriber list. Got a chance to win 50,000. We need 50,000 subscribers, and please support our sponsors. Betway, go on their site, press the SoccerBeat tab, and get yourself a 25 rand extra beat. 25 rand extra. Coach, let's just try and pick out the positives before we go back into detail. Is there anything you saw in this game against Chippa? Were there any players or anything happening tactically that you saw a bit of light, that you went, you know what, this is something to build on, whether it's from the back goalkeeper all the way to the front, or the changes, or the tactics? Is there any light that you saw?
Well, I would say it's about those half chances that were created, Peter. There were some good moments in the game. I think Pele building up, Modi up front, getting into good positions. I think, to be fair, Duba didn't get the service that was required. At times, there was, that, like you mentioned earlier, there was that that constant change of possession from one team to the next. They never settled down. So I would think that those few half chances were positives. I mean, there was a situation where Modi was one-on-one with the keeper. That's a positive. But do you then convert the chance, which then means you go one up? And not only him, there were several other chances, I think, in the box. Again, Modi, and then a few of the other guys as well, getting those half chances. So it's about composure. And again, I mentioned earlier, Peter, technical application. Technical application at this level, you can't teach a professional player when he receives the ball that he already needs to know what he's going to do with it even before he receives it. So you see players giving away possession with no pressure. For me, that's a concern. I'm sitting on the bench and you could see Nabi shaking his head because those basic errors should not be happening. Not at this level. You can't give a ball away with nobody pressing you. I can understand when you're under pressure and you make a mistake, but this is unforced. Like in tennis, you talk about unforced errors. There were too many today. And this is something that can't be happening, especially if you're looking to finish respectably in the league. You're looking to take this game to Pirates in both the derbies. You gotta up your game. And I mean, if you look at it, Chiefs started with two players that didn't play against Sundowns. So surely the performance shouldn't be so different.
Correct. So Tsepo, again, coach makes a good point. They got two games against Pirates coming up. Like a cup game, any small team, and I'm not calling Chiefs a small team, can beat a big team in a cup game, in a one-off. So we expect that Chiefs will give Pirates a run for the money in the Nedbank final and in the derby. Even if Chiefs were at the bottom of the league table, those games, they're going to be tough and close. But is it maybe time that we actually got to accept this fact, Tsepo, that the players at Kaizer Chiefs, we're not talking about Nabi here, the players at Kaizer Chiefs actually are just not good enough, that the league table is not lying. Nabi has maybe done his best with what little material he's got, but Chiefs actually don't have the players. Or are there players in there that you can see can be the basis of a team that can actually challenge next season? Farouk and I spoke about this during the week, actually, in another show. But I want to hear your view on this.
Yes.
What showed you today?
No, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say Kaizer Chiefs have this strong squad, have a strong squad to challenge Sundowns and Pirates, like as in sitting here talking today. You know, they still need in my opinion, they still need a few players to strengthen the team. But with so saying, also the position in the league, you know, it tells you a lot about this Kaizer Chiefs team. Be it the players, you know, they can take the blame, but also as a coach, you have to improve players. So we have to sit back and look at when the coach came, which players improved under the coach, because partly a job of the coach is to improve players, Peter.
So then, Tsepo, let's ask that question. You bring a brilliant point. I wish I thought of it. Your point is, which players do you think have improved since Nabi's been there? Who has he improved?
I think Duba, you know, we see a slight improvement from Duba.
I agree.
You know, yes, but the rest, I know, I wouldn't say they've really improved, you know. And some of the guys haven't really played regularly. Okay, maybe Modi, you know, recently we've seen Modi is improving. He looks the part, but he still lacks that final third, you know, end result for a winger.
Yeah. So, Coach, again, let's take Tsepo's point a little further. Do you see the logic in what Nabi has been doing all season? And the game against Chippa is a perfect example of what has been happening all season. And if has he been doing what I'm going to say right now out of exasperation, or just because he knows the players aren't good enough? Because, you know, there was a coach at Chelsea called Ranieri. They called him the Tinker Man because he continuously changed the team. Nabi has continuously changed his team, even after the victory against Supersport. Duba moves from a striker back to a wide man. What do you think as a coach? You sat on the bench. What is he thinking behind this? Why is he doing this? Where's it benefiting the team? Would you differently view his technical director? What would you be saying to him? In particular reference to look at this game.
Well, obviously, I will be totally disappointed in the fact that this game, there was great expectations. I think the country was in so much positivity when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs. I'm talking about the majority of the fans in the country are Kaizer Chiefs fans, in Orlando Pirates, and some to some extent Sundowns. But in saying that, Kaizer Chiefs still control the majority of fans in the country. So there has been that positivity which we always speak about. But in saying that, as a technical director, the first question I would ask is, why is it that we don't seem to have a plan? If you look at us, from layman's terms, from our build-up phase to the time that we keep possession with the idea of breaking the opposition's defensive strategy and block, it doesn't seem like there's any plan at hand. It seems like basically an amateur team coming to the field and just playing off the cuff. So what is basically happening from where I'm sitting is players that we see there, the Modis of this world, who are quality players in my opinion, are just playing football. But it's not like there's been a strategy that has been researched, because if there is a strategy, then the runs into the box will be better timed. The finishing will be better. Because what is the job of a coach from the Monday to the Friday is to get his team to be synchronized. It's not about fitness, not about tactics, because tactics are dependent on technical application. So when I'm saying that, you often hear coaches speak about patterns of play. Now, if you do your patterns of play, it's like when you're practicing your scales on a piano. The reason why you're practicing those scales, because when you have the concert, you can't afford to make one error when it comes to you playing those different scales. So the same thing happens in football, where players now, during the week, work on those patterns of play, where they eventually perfect it, Peter, Tsepo, so that when it comes to finishing those half chances that I spoke about, they finish them. It doesn't look like that's the case. You see players making runs in the wrong areas. You see players using the wrong technique. So surely they're not practicing their scales. Personally, I would do that. There was a coach in England that one day said, when he was asked what should he do, and a very learned coach said to him, take 11 dustbins and put them on the field and let your team play against those 11 dustbins. And what he basically meant, basically,
I phoned Nabi and I said to him, why don't you play against the dustbins? He did. He said, we did, but they beat us 2-1.
Peter, so the analogy behind that is basically you show your dominance. Not that Chippa is 11 dustbins, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, basically, you then put your mark on the game and say, this is how we're going to play through these guys. We can't afford for these guys to make us look bad. Today, if you look at the balance, I think in all fairness, Chippa could have snatched this one, could have taken all 3 points if we look at the chances that they created. There was a couple of close calls, and if they were at any better quality, I think they could have won all 3 points.
We're going to take a short break for a promo, a very quick break. Then I'm going to ask both of you a question that I think every fan out there wants to know the answer of. I have a quick break. I'll come back with a question that I want to know the answer of, and I'm sure the fans do as well. See you in a second.
How would you like to win a little something extra just for joining the best in the game? For a limited time, we are teaming up with Betway and giving all of you access to a SoccerBeat exclusive. If you join Betway using the sign-up code SoccerBeat, now in March, you'll get 25 Rand extra bet. That's right. It's time to get way more out of every bet. Standard T's and C's apply.
Welcome back, guys. This is the question. I don't know why I've never asked this question before. Tsepo, you've played for Chiefs. Farouk, you've coached that club. The way I see Chiefs, it's a big club. The fans are completely loyal. They support the team. As I understand it, the management runs a there's nothing these players can moan about. They're very well paid, probably the highest in the league up there with Sundowns. The setup at Naturina is international class. They travel top class. They've got the best medical. They've got everything. If you're at Chiefs, Tsepo, Farouk, am I correct in saying the management has done their job in giving the players everything they need? They travel well, there's top hotels, everything they need to be able to perform. It's not like salaries are coming late or stuff like that. Is it probably the most professional, up there with certainly with Pirates and Sundowns, the most professional environment in the country? International level, is that from your time, Farouk, Tsepo, what would you say?
No, definitely, Peter, it's correct. The setup, top class facilities, top class, you get paid on time, you get, I don't know how many pairs of running shoes and, track suits and everything, you get it on time. And the setup is perfect. It's, more European setup, I would say, Peter.
Yeah. And Farouk?
Well, firstly, I want to say just being part of Chiefs is such a great honor because you have so many people's lives that you can change on a week-to-week basis. You can bring so much joy to people that work from Monday to Friday to Saturday, that go through so much hardship, and you can make a difference in their lives. So that is an honor and a privilege for you as a player. Forget about the perks. The perks are there. But I think just to be wearing that shirt, you should be honored. It's like wearing the shirt of Barcelona or Real Madrid or one of the top clubs. The second thing is there's nothing that you want, because you're dealing with people that are credible, that are honest and have integrity. It's not like where you get a phone call at 10 o'clock in the evening and say, hey guys, you know what, this is the lineup, this is what you got to do. No interference whatsoever. Everything is done professionally. The chairman knows exactly that he stays very far from influencing what you should do. So you have the joy of knowing that you have carte blanche to do as you please. And then, as you pointed out, you get paid, you get rewarded, you travel the best, you stay in the best hotels, and you basically, and I think Tsepo will tell you, like you feel like a movie star at Kaizer Chiefs. So therefore, there's no reason in the world that you shouldn't be delivering, Peter. I mean, I feel for the club, I feel for the fans, and I'm just thinking, I don't want to, point fingers at the coach or the players, but something is not right, and it has to be remedied.
So there could only be, and the Chippa game for me is a perfect example, because I just see the team going back to square one. Those one-off wins against Sundowns, even if they win the Nedbank Cup, even if they beat Pirates in the league, these are one-offs that they don't really count. You've got to look at the graph. And there's really, guys, I think, three things wrong. And Chiefs fans out there, let me know. I think in the last X amount of years, who's ever been buying players has got it wrong. Chiefs used to get it right. So somehow they've got to get the purchasing of players right for this next transfer window. They've got to get that right. That's the first thing. And I'd like that question answered, Farouk and Tsepo, how they do that. The second thing is the current players who are left, who still are there for next season, they've got to raise their game somehow. And then thirdly, the coach. He's got to come to the party, because he's had, I think there's 6 or 7 new players they've brought in this season. They can only bring in another 3, 4. He's then going to have a squad that's got to challenge Chiefs and Pirates. He's got to come to the party. No excuses. No, I'm in love with the club. No, I've got other offers. He's got to come to the party and turn this team into a better team than they are right now. A team that's also not a one-trick pony. Basically, the only game is get it forward quickly. They've got to not be a one-trick pony team. Secondly, they've got to, the players have got to raise their level as well. And thirdly, the club's got to crucially sign well this season. Farouk, you technical director, which maybe they probably need, by the way. You technical director, those 3 points, are they valid, or would you add your own, change them? What's the 3 points going forward? Because the season's almost over. This decision's got to be made.
Well, we spoke about in the week, Peter, we spoke about periodization. It's a collective. It's not just about the signing of the players. It's not just about the performance of the coach. It's not just about the performance of the players. It's a collective where you need to create harmony with whatever you're doing. There has to be a self-belief. If you look at the players generally, you can see there is still a lot of doubt, a lot of uncertainty that needs to be overcome. So I would say, let's deal with the mentality side as a very, very important factor. Thereafter, the technical, the tactical, the psychological, the social will follow naturally. We've seen clubs not necessarily signing the best players, but ensuring that they get the best out of the players, because it's easy to say the players are not performing. So what is my job? So then you don't need me. You don't need a technical director. You just go and you play the match. But it's important now that there's synergy between the coaching staff, the technical staff, and the players, and that there's no blame game. We win together, we lose together. So it's easy when we're not winning to point fingers at the players, and it's easy when we're not winning for the players to point fingers at the coach. That shouldn't exist, not in this scenario. We should take collective responsibility and find solutions, because you could go buy any player you want next. It's not like Chiefs haven't bought players. Just during the window period, they signed a couple of players, Nolipo, Tele, etc. Serino, top player as well. So there's no reason to say Chiefs don't have the material. I think they do have the material. Yes, today we saw a little bit of a concern defensively. I don't know, maybe Tsimango was injured or suspended, but he didn't start. So there may be a reason he's not on the bench. Maybe injured or maybe suspended. I didn't really check. But be that as may, Quinica comes in now, and you can see the guy is totally out of sync. Every ball he got, he cleared. He played basically just survival football. You can't have that. So again, the collective, the philosophy, the strategy, all must be not done on paper. It must be implemented. We must physically see And the three of us must talk about the highlights of Chiefs rather than what they should be doing a week in and week out.
Correct. Good point. Tsepo, actually, just to summarize Farouk's point and why he's 100% correct, you can look at the English Premier League, Nottingham Forest, a small club relative to the big clubs, and they're right up there challenging and beating the big teams. And the word coming out that I hear from my friends at the high levels of the game there, and the coaches they're telling me is that the difference is with Nottingham Forest, they've got an incredible team spirit. Everybody's pulling in the same direction with the coach, and they've got that right. But Tsepo, right, your thoughts finally before we close.
No, Peter, I wouldn't. I would just add on what Coach Farouk has said. It's a collective effort, Peter. Because if the whole team is doing well, everyone will get the praise or the credit, the tap on the back. Sporting director made good signing. The coach is good. The players are good. So why, if things are going bad, we only pointed one person? I think it's a case of making right signings, that will help the team, and making signings that are ready, like getting players that are ready right now, like as in season campaigners, not potentials. Because sometimes you get signings that will be ready after 3-4 years, but Kaizer Chiefs right now they need tried and tested guys that are ready to hit the ground running.
Well, if I was a Kaizer Chiefs owner, one of the directors, I certainly would be coming to the end of my tether, and I'd expect him more. But anyway, guys, thanks very much. Kaizer Chiefs fans out there, at least you got a point. Top 8 is still not 100% certain. It's going to be close. Chip, we've got a lot of games behind you. Farouk, love you lots. See you again. Tsepo, love you lots. See you again. Thanks, guys. See you soon. SoccerBeat, we love you.
SoccerBeat, what?